All the way from Phoenix, Arizona, Portland, Oregon, and Dallas, Texas. It's the Bros Before Elbows Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to the Bros Before Elbows Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Anthony, along with my other hosts, Tommy and Theron, coming at you. It is still in the middle of the wackiness, but beyond the wackiness there is pro wrestling. And there are things that I'm not caught up on, but that's okay because my other hosts will bring us up to speed. So welcome to the show, guys. How you guys doing?
Cockroaches, Twinkies, and pro wrestling. The only thing that'll survive the apocalypse.
What?
Yes.
I don't know what to say. I don't know how to
Theron,
follow
how you
that
doing?
up. That was a hot take right there. Why don't you tweet that?
No time. I can't multitask. I barely have a working mic. How could I expect me
What
to
did you
tweet as
say?
well?
How did you say cockroaches,
Twinkies, and pro wrestling
are the only thing that will survive a Holocaust, right? No, that's not what you said.
No, man. That's apocalypse, man.
What's the third
big
thing?
difference.
Twinkies, and wrestling.
Pro wrestling. Yeah, something.
You know, there was this thing I saw on Twitter where this guy had this really old can of Spider-Man Chef Boyardee. And he was like, if I get, X amount of retweets, I'll open this can and show everyone. And so he like opens up this like 50-year-old can. It's just gross, dude. It just looks like it's like rusted on the inside and just like really gross macaroni. But one of the shapes you can make out does kind of look like Spider-Man.
Oh, man.
So it's just, it's pretty funny.
That's how we're entertaining ourselves nowadays. That's what we got.
This is what it's come to.
There's no live sports, and this is what we've come to. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But then there's pro wrestling. Of course, that's the only thing that is on right now. I'm not caught up whatsoever. Ever since WrestleMania, I thought WrestleMania was it was cool. We all liked it, right? But I have no idea what's happening for Money in the Bank or what's happening with any of the feuds. I'm like, I don't know. So let's talk about that. What's happening in the world of WWE?
I think I said this on the thread. Like there has to be like a major asterisk next to everything that happens ever since WrestleMania because it's like no crowds. We don't know if the shows are taped live or beforehand. They're doing like multiple locations for Money in the Bank. It's just like it's such a weird time, man. It's just like when we look back on this in 5 years, this like coronavirus version of pro wrestling, is this gonna like go down the history books? Is this like the weirdest time ever?
Darren, what do you think?
I think the corona.
As like the weirdest, as right?
Like, does it even count? I think like does it even count? Like, I don't even know. I mean, like, I'm still like, I don't know. It's kind of like weird to like how they transitioned from WrestleMania having no fans to going right into Raw. No, it's just like I don't know if it's the no fans getting to me or it's just like not the whole roster being there kind of thing. It's just like I don't know what they're working with. I don't know if they're working with their hands tied behind their back. I don't know like how to judge it. Like, what's the scale? Am I supposed to give like them like a major like curve, or am I still supposed to expect like good entertainment, like good storylines and like good matches?
Like anything. In fact, I think there should be an asterisk next to this entire season of pro wrestling. Which is not to say an excuse. I think they should have nothing. They didn't do that. They're now in the midst of what this is. And it's pretty hard to watch week in and week out. So will they go as the weirdest time? I think the weirdest time in pro wrestling. Maybe it could be up there. It could be a forgotten time. Things are forgotten in wrestling sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's I see it as like this is the most unique time. And they decide to continue on, so they're going to make what they're going to make. And but the dynamic of not having the audience there is so again, it's like watching it live, right? Where you don't have the commentary, but now it's the opposite way around. Like, you get the commentary, but you don't get the fans. Like, you don't get that reaction. So you watch the wrestling differently. Like, that's how I see it. So, yeah, but to say it's the weirdest, like, I mean, it's definitely a time that'll be, you know, it is what it is. I think that's kind of like the only way to say it. Does it count? I mean, for sure. It's a period of history. Yeah. It is what it was. You know, it is what it was. And will be.
I'm just wondering how many fans are like us and just like, we've all like left pro wrestling before. Like, I think around when we were all like 18, 17, we also like left pro wrestling for at least like 5 or 7 years. I wonder if people like our age or people back in or 18, 17 now, are they leaving pro wrestling now? Because this is like, I don't want to watch this right now. It's like, you know, is the only thing like, is there like a mass exit of fans right now that are people who are not going to come back to WWE or pro wrestling till like 5 years from now?
My social media streams and my minimal interaction with people through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, I don't think so. Like, there's always someone that seems to have an opinion about a character or something on there. Like, I think I saw something on Instagram when I was in the wormhole the other day about the Riot Squad. Someone was saying that they could have been cool or whatever. I think I wrote something to that person, and then someone else just tagged in and was like, no, none of them should ever have been involved in wrestling at all. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it went into like a little back and forth for a while. It ended. I just kind of ended it. So I don't think that people are running away necessarily. I just think they're doing what we're doing, and maybe they're not watching as much right now because it's not as entertaining. You know, you're not really getting hooked. But like, I'll go through Cage Side and read through some stories, and I might find those interesting, or I'll turn on like whatever WWE is putting out, and I'll be like, this is really stupid. So I guess it's just what, you know, and kind of like it's one of the only things on, so they might get a pass.
Yeah, weird times.
Interesting. Are you watching like one product of WWE over another or another promotion? Like, if is it across all pro wrestling right now that aren't, you know, performing in front of audiences?
I've given up completely on NXT for one, because they didn't have a takeover for a while, and I feel like they've had like a big gap, and they did their takeovers on like their Wednesday nights. Like, they moved the match, like moved the Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa match. They moved the ladder match over to NXT on Wednesday nights, as kind of like forgot about it. I haven't made an effort to go back. I don't know like what the storylines are. I think NXT has been the most hurt for me, because they had a big event. Didn't have a takeover like on a Saturday or Sunday where I can go, oh, okay, I'll watch that. They moved everything to Wednesday night, and I kind of like think a lot got lost in the shuffle with NXT for me personally. But I'm just not watching any of it. Like, I just choose to watch like Netflix or HBO Go or Hulu or watch old stuff on the network. Like I said, I watched that Edge documentary. I watched some old pay-per-views, but just like nothing currently is just like enticing me ever since WrestleMania.
What about the Poison Pixie, Candice LeRae?
I saw she got purple hair. I mean, that's cool. I thought that was
she's a heel.
Cool. She looks really good on
her.
Turned
on, I guess. My point in saying that is that maybe a lot of things that are happening are getting lost in the shuffle. Johnny Gargano turning heel, that happened. Candice LeRae joining him in his heelishness. Her just turning heel. Not that Candice LeRae is a super featured person, but it could have been really cool with like a live audience. Probably still pretty cool the way it's being presented, but you're not getting the same effect. The AEW's got a TNT Championship tournament going on right now. And again, it's like you're not getting the same effect. Matches, which what I can see, these are pretty good matches. So it's like it's weird, I guess. Weird time, but they're just plodding along, like doing these different stories and these different promotions. Like, but it's difficult. Can't really get into it. Not the same adrenaline when a live crowd to react to things that are happening.
Yeah, it's where it's not just NXT and WWE, it's AEW too as well. Same for me. It's just like I think Dustin Rhodes had like a career-threatening match a couple weeks ago versus Kip Sabian, and like that's like high stakes, and it was in the tournament, and I was like, oh, okay. And then like Matt Hardy's in the promotion, but I kind of forgot he was in the promotion. And it's just like it's just
doing
like
good stuff too. Like it's really cool. Like if you watch it, you're like, this is really cool, but you're watching it with like this judgment or like a. I don't know. I can't get into it. Not. I'm used to doing these cool things, but he won that match, by the way. I don't know if that's an ongoing thing in the tournament, so I don't know if he loses in the tournament, he has to retire. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Now I'm curious, like if this is going to be just affects pro wrestling because the fans are so interactive, but like if like when football and basketball and baseball come back with no fans, is that going to be like the same thing? Is it going to be weird? Like having like as like real sports fans gonna feel the same way that like we kind of feel right now, like pro wrestling fans do. Like it's hard to watch with no fans. Like is it gonna be weird to watch a football game or a baseball game without fans, or I don't know, or just pro wrestling is so unique because there's so much fan interaction.
We'll see. Yeah.
I have been watching like as I haven't been seeing like Raws or SmackDowns. Sometimes I'll catch up on NXTs. I watched the Gargano match and then some of the other matches that they had, super good. But watched Ruthless Aggression. I think you guys had seen that. Tommy, you've seen that, right?
No, I didn't see that.
I've seen it.
Then it was Theron. Yeah, it was Theron that was telling me about it. It's really good. It is really good. So there's programming that I'm watching on the network where, I'm actually going through some older WrestleManias and looking at just some specific matches. Like I watched the Stone Cold and Ric Flair podcast or the Stone Cold session.
Nice.
That was really good with Ric Flair, really good. And he talks about his match with Undertaker, and so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll check that out on the network. So I found the match, and then recently watched the Razor Ramon Shawn Michaels ladder match.
A good one.
Ooh,
which was super good.
10, yeah.
Yeah, so I've just kind of been hopping back and forth, and then finished that Ruthless Aggression docuseries, and definitely, so to kind of tie it in, talking about a period of time having left, watching, right? I feel like right now I'm just kind of, putting my eyeballs into WWE and pro wrestling, but kind of more in the, other storytelling that they have.
Sarah, have you been going back and watching anything on the network or no?
No, but I mean, I've been watching Dark Side of the Ring. So I've been watching that pretty much on YouTube. I think every Tuesday. I've been watching so much stuff like on Netflix. So I think now just finished another show. So it's like I've definitely given thought to like going back and seeing what is on the network, like classic matches or different like the Broken Skull sessions with Stone Cold. Like definitely,
they're really good, man.
I was thinking about that today. Definitely
check that out. He's an extremely good interviewer. That's what I love about Stone Cold. He does so much research, and he asks really really good questions, and you're like, damn, this is a great conversation. So yeah, man, definitely check out especially the Ric Flair one, man. He gets pretty emotional. Wild ride, man. Freaking Ric Flair, that guy, man.
How is he still alive, man? He's like the Keith Richards of pro wrestling, man.
Oh my gosh, dude, it was crazy. And then seeing him in during the Ruthless Aggression docuseries and Evolution, because I don't really know much about Evolution. Now, again, that was the time period where we weren't really watching, and to see Ric Flair as a part of that faction, like, okay, cool, like this is what happened during that time. And then how Batista got big and Randy Orton. I didn't know Orton came from OVW with John Cena and some other dudes.
Brock Lesnar was down there too, man. It was like a crazy good class.
Yeah, they talk. Where did they talk about OVW? Oh yeah, they talk about OVW on that. Get a lot of that. All those guys.
Yeah.
And it tells you how Batista was like Deacon Batista in the beginning. That character kind of went nowhere, and obviously he changed and became what he was. Yeah, that was really good with the Evolution one. I'll tell you, the Evolution faction is way cooler. Ric Flair and Evolution is a lot cooler than the Four Horsemen.
Man, you really
what is going on with this?
Put a video in the thread of like, I'm guessing this was like a 4-way. This must have been a pay-per-view because I don't remember seeing it on anything. Could have been on Nitro. This was like the pre-NWO era, so there was like a span of a year or maybe less before the NWO came to WCW, where it was just Nitro and like the Horsemen were the bad guys. Mongo McMichael was active. Like a 4-on-4 between Dungeon of Doom or whatever they're called and the Four Horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
And freaking Mongo McMichael just botches 2 simple moves in the matter of like 5 seconds. And I was just like, what? And Tony Schiavone's just trying, I think it was Tony, it was either him or Eric Bischoff, trying to commentate through this series of moves. And it's just like, it was so awful. It was like an Irish whip and like, I don't even know what
it was so bad. It was Mongo McMichael and Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, and Dean Malenko as his partners. So he had 3 like really good veterans as his partners, and he was wrestling Kevin Sullivan in the ring, and Kevin Sullivan goes to throw him against the ropes, and Mongo like just stops running. Kevin Sullivan tried to like save with a clothesline, and like Mongo like no sells him by accident, and then Mongo does like one shoulder tackle, and he gets that move right. Then he goes to climb the rope. Like to do like a Finn Balor's finisher, like the stomp off the top rope. Yeah, he couldn't. He like jumped up on the second rope. He almost like fell off. It was literally like 7 botches in the spans of 10 seconds. It was like,
no!
It was so just ridiculous. And Mongo McMichael was like a football player for the Chicago Bears, like won a Super Bowl. He's like a good athlete, but man, like watching him in a pro wrestling. Like having WCW put him in the Four Horsemen is just like, oh man, what a slap in the face.
Yeah, that's the rabbit hole I went down. I was like, I remember him in the Horsemen, but I guess I just didn't see his matches, or I was just a child, so I just didn't care. But
did he even have any matches?
I think he was the U.S. champion for a period of time. I'm not even joking.
God,
I'm pretty sure he was the United States champion for at least, because he was a Horseman. So like they were like the bad guys at, when Nitro first came.
So really, it was just supposed to be the 3 horsemen, but like they added this fourth.
They needed a 4th horseman. I mean, I don't the last
because I think Arn Anderson
that's
retired.
What it was.
So it was like Benoit, Malenko, Mongo, and Flair, like literally the worst incarnation.
That was the worst faction. I think Barry Windham in the coolest, or he was cooler than them. That group.
Well, wait, what?
Said something about Barry Windham, and then he got sucked.
Oh snap! I didn't get sucked. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter what I said. I said something about Barry Windham being cool.
So wait a second. So I don't really. Okay, this sounds really stupid. I'm not stupid, but I'll admit it. I don't really know a whole lot about the Four Horsemen. So I guess hearing like that Mongo McMichael's just like this goofball. Oh. It's just this black sheep. Like what? Yeah. Really? It's like Four Horsemen is synonymous with like that is like the faction of all factions. At least that's how I would see it. Right?
And I think it was that weird like the Theron was saying, it was that weird period of WCW when there's being weird before they got the NWO rolling. So I think that's when they had Mongo into the Four Horsemen. But the original like Four Horsemen was like Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, Ric Flair, and Barry Windham. I think. Actually, I don't know. Tully Blanchard. Yeah, sorry about that. Tully Blanchard. Yeah. So they had like Barry Windham was a really good wrestler, and they added Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko. They had Paul Roma, like all like really good athletes, all good wrestlers. And Mongo.
And Mongo. Somehow Tommy found that tweet.
Got it. Okay, fair enough.
We're in the world. Shout out to you for that. Joke of the day.
Shout out for Pro Wrestling Twitter, man. They're going strong. That's how I follow all my news is pro wrestling, and they usually sometimes post weird like gifs or weird clips from like way back in the day, and it's like I don't know. That's keeping me my pro wrestling fandom alive.
Wait, it's called Pro Wrestling Twitter.
Dang! All right, what is it called?
Is it called Pro Wrestling Twitter?
No, just like pro wrestling Twitter in general. Like anyone who like tweets about pro wrestling, I consider it pro wrestling Twitter.
Dang. So you don't have any exact people I can just follow right now to get that information?
No, I cannot. No, man. Just
I thought it was
gotta be on Twitter and keep your head on a swivel.
Oh, snap.
Head on a swivel.
I guess if I just search pro wrestling, maybe that'll get me there. I don't want pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So here's a question. Is AEW wait, no, hang on. Is Impact still taping in front of people?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think
because everything I've seen, maybe it's just really old. They always show old footage, but from the things that I have seen, it looks like there were still people in the audience, and I was like, "Whoa, crazy!"
No, they're doing the same thing. They had like an Impact pay-per-view on TV called Rebellion. I think Moose. I don't know. They have a story going where Moose is the champion somehow. I guess Tessa Blanchard's stuck in Mexico, even though she's the champion currently. So, yeah. I don't know how I fell in the rabbit hole of Impact. I never thought we would speak of them again on this show ever, but so
times are tough, man.
I think they're doing the same thing though. Empty arena. It was an empty arena because I watched the clip. I just somehow found I was like just looking at wrestling. We're like, we don't really know what to talk about because there's not much going on to talk about. To be honest with you, so I'm just like trying to figure out stuff to touch on. I guess, like I said, Moose is there. He won a match. He had a belt. Wears like Ultimate Warrior clothes, wrestling gear. His wrestling gear is like tribute to the Warrior, but it has like a Moose logo instead of the Warrior, but it's got like the face paint. I don't know. It's Impact.
What the hell, man? Moose is trash.
Yeah, I saw him
Moose
botch a pop-up powerbomb in the matter of like against a 55-year-old Hernandez.
Moose is trash.
He is trash. Super Max Hernandez, like, yeah, it was like him, Michael Elgin, and Moose. Interim champ. I don't know.
I don't like Michael Elgin either, man. So I guess Hernandez is my go-to guy in that one. That's
crazy. I just didn't know if they were what their deal is or what they're doing. But I guess everybody's empty arena and still, I don't know. I guess what I'm getting at is there's still a lot of other pro wrestling out there. It's not.
I feel bad for the indies, man. Like, what are like indie promotions like doing like in like Portland or Arizona or Texas? What are they doing right now? There's no shows. I'm
assuming. Yeah.
Rock God, Ricky Gibson. He's got his own podcast.
Oh, okay.
What? Is that competition now?
I guess the battle lines have been drawn. Rock God, Ricky Gibson.
Ooh, get some. Bring it. Dude, that actually is a bucket list item for me to take a bump, do an elbow off the top rope, and have a match against Rock God, Ricky Gibson.
You would look like Mongo, dude. You would go at the Mongo base.
No, let's all do it, man. Let's all get out.
I think it'd be great.
I would do it, man. Put it on our YouTube. That'd be great content.
Oh my god, dude! Just say the words.
That'd be awesome.
It can be done.
He's got his own action figure. I saw on Facebook.
Isn't that crazy?
He has an action figure?
It looks awesome too, dude.
What?
It looks good, man. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's got an action figure and he's got a podcast. What do we got?
Oh, dude, he beat us to the game of action figures. Didn't Ace Kid Reporter Thomas talk about action figures?
He said he's assholes asked us when we get 10,000 followers on YouTube. Yeah, he's like, you guys got 10,000 yet? I'm like, no. No. He's like, do you think you'll ever get 10,000? I'm like, no.
Do you think you'll ever get
like
1,000? Oh,
that's
crushing my dreams.
Funny, dude.
Find him though.
Wow. Kids are brutal, dude.
Yeah, kids are brutal, man. I think the brutal honesty, man. They don't have they don't understand social cues.
Dad, just hit me up when you have 10,000. Other than that, it's all right.
Well, we thought if we had to get that many, we'd get our own action figures. Like, what if we have Bros for Rebels toys?
Oh, awesome. Would he invest?
Yeah, no, he probably wouldn't. He probably invest in Ricky Gibson's podcast after he hears it once.
He's just gonna stab us in the back like that.
The ultimate. It's gonna be like Seth Rollins and we're gonna be Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns.
Oh no.
Are your kids watching wrestling, or do they not care right now?
They don't care, man. They're just like, they've been off from school since the beginning of March. It's like extended spring break. They don't have to go back until August.
Oh my gosh.
And they're just like living they're living the good life, man. They're doing like a once a week Zoom call with their class, and that's about it. And just doing some homework here and there, but they're living the good life.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Yeah, imagine like getting a 4 or 5 month break in the middle of when you're a kid, man. I don't know.
It's supposed to be spring break, but it's just like, we're just gonna go ahead and put spring and summer together.
Skateboard every day.
Skate forever.
Yeah. Dude, skate forever, friggin' Ghost Man on third
Anthony,
forever.
Party of the cul-de-sac.
Anthony, what do you think about the climb the corporate ladder matches? Live matches taped at WWE headquarters. Must climb from the bottom floor to the very top of the tower, and then climb a ladder, get the briefcase.
I'll only be excited if Shane McMahon does an elbow drop from the top of the corporate building.
I don't think Shane McMahon's been on TV since he lost the KO at like SummerSlam. I don't even remember when that was anymore. Oh.
Shane McMahon was backstage in the Edge documentary for the Royal Rumble.
So he was there. Oh, okay. So he's just not.
Yeah, he's hanging out backstage like producing.
Nope.
I'm guessing
he needs to do an elbow drop from the top of the corporate headquarters.
From the top of the tower to where exactly?
And the guy will move out of the way. A really long time.
I always wondered though, how do those bumps work? Like, I was reading something about wrestlers that are not safe, or I was YouTube Nia Jax. But like, say that there's a safe way to do things. What about when you throw someone off the top of to a table, or you jump off of that table thinking that someone's going to be there to catch you, but it's all table because that person was moved by the savior of the masses, Sami Zayn. How do they protect people?
I think there's a crash pad now, but I don't. Like a big like air pad or something under the. I thought there was. I don't know. I thought I've seen that before. But I don't know. I don't know if they do it at the announce desk, but I think they've done it before. Like
I've seen that. Bumps. Yeah, with the especially the Hell in the Cell ones where it's like a bag.
Yeah,
that's underneath the. That's underneath the desk, so that way, cushions some of the impact, because that's a fucking hard.
That's what
fall,
I'm saying.
Man.
Like Mick Foley diving off the top of a cell into a table, and then his tooth is in his lip or something. After that, I'm like, walk away from this. I mean,
I don't think Mick Foley had it, but I think nowadays
so you're
they
telling
have
me he just was
something.
throwing off the top.
Yeah.
It's just like, hopefully.
The 90s were crazy, man. Super dumb. Chairs, shots to the head, and jumping off things, and they didn't care. I mean, they just didn't know, man. It's like the NFL. They didn't understand concussions yet. Now you look back at it, it's like, well, some people took a lot of, like The Rock got a lot of headshots. Mick Foley got so many headshots. Ken Shamrock. So many unprotected. It's just like, oh man, it's horrible.
Ken Shamrock is.
He's a 56-year-old man.
Only about that means he's only like.
Is he older than Undertaker?
Well, I don't know. How old is the Undertaker?
I think Undertaker's like 52. Last I looked.
Ken Shamrock's 56.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter today. Actually.
Whoa! I mean, good for him to keep doing it, but damn,
is he still wrestling? How's Undertaker?
That's crazy. All right.
Oh my God, Undertaker's 55 years old. He just turned 55 in March.
He's still wrestling. He just did a graveyard match on the off-site location. Oh my!
He did. He buried the club.
He got two of them fired too.
Don't bury me. Don't bury me.
That was great, man.
That was amazing. That was such a good match. Miss AJ Styles.
Yeah, I don't know when he's coming back. I don't know when anyone's coming.
If he's coming back, dude. What if he's not coming back?
When is Cena gonna come back then?
I don't think Cena should ever come back, right?
Ruthless.
Hey, they posted a good in that storyline. They got that that's become viral. Turned it into a shirt.
They did.
The Ruthless Aggression.
No. It's good shit. Really good-ish. The Vince McMahon selling point. Bro, I mean, John Moxley talked about on that Christian podcast. Yeah, it's got a shirt now. It's got a following. Vince McMahon. I guess he uses it to sell people. He wants them to buy into it, whether it's stupid or not. Puking into a trash can.
Wait, what?
Oh, well, it's like from. Do you remember Draws? Maybe not. He had a very short career. He took a really bad power bomb from D'Lo Brown. D'Lo Brown, like, ended his career wheelchair.
I gotta look it up. What's his name? DRS
Draws. At one point, he was in the LOD.
I think he was in the. I think he was in a WWE video game.
WWE video game.
Yeah.
Character was supposed to be called Puke. It puked. Well, there was like a whole thing on this old document. Shows Vince McMahon selling guy on puking.
Ew.
That's the things that Vince McMahon finds entertaining. Like, so gross.
Oh, dude, I remember this guy.
Yeah, Draws.
Is he still in a wheelchair?
Yeah, definitely. He's wheelchair bound, I think. But he was on the dark side of the ring because he was in that stupid Brawl for All tournament.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what happened to him?
Oh, he took a really nasty power bomb from D'Lo. Like, it was a bad spot. Power bomb. Drop. Final wrestling. Ever since. It won't, and you can't find footage of WWE like file from all their files. No, you can't find it up.
That's crazy.
Dude, that's bonkers. All right, well, yeah, no, I remember this guy.
Guys,
Wacky Tobacco.
we're all not sold on. So no one's been paying attention to like the pushes of the. Like, it seems like WWE is working with a lot of people that are getting time, or like NXT talent or talent I've never heard of. Like, kind of calling some people up, moving them around at least on Raw, on SmackDown, like they've gotten sons to them. Yeah, they got
really.
Wait, when?
Two SmackDown showed up.
Interesting.
Now they've inserted themselves in a three-way tag war between the Usos, the Miz, and John Morrison, and the New Day. So now there's 4 tags.
Man.
No.
Oh man, I don't think the Frown Zones are even that good in NXT. They're gonna get lost. They're gonna get lost on the main roster like Sanity. I'd be shocked if they didn't.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Do you think like these people are getting their call-ups early or airtime or whatever because travel or some travel? Like, a lot of people haven't been around.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I think they're just doing what they could work with. You live in Florida, you can drive to the Performance Center, then hey, yeah, you might be able to get on Raw and SmackDown right now.
Yeah, that's very true. You can show up. Step 1, show up. Who's here? Ruthless Aggression. Point 2.0.
What is that? I mean, what I don't get. Why was it called Ruthless? Like, what is that? Like John Cena's gimmick, or what was that? I didn't see the documentary.
That's okay. So Vince McMahon comes out. I'm probably gonna botch this, so Theron, back me up and correct me for what I'm wrong. But because I know he's seen it. So from my understanding, it's the transition of like WCW's acquired. They try to run an angle with WCW, and it's like all botchy and like stupid because they couldn't get the cool contracts like Hogan and Nash and Hall and all them. So that kind of failed, and they're like, crap, like we just took in a bunch of new dudes, and we need to come up with a storyline. So Vince McMahon comes out into the ring and invites all the wrestlers. And I think this was like a brand. I think this might have been a brand split too at the time. But he basically comes out and like tells all the wrestlers like basically brass ring conversation. You know, different flavor of brass ring. But he's like, you know, whoever wants it, come get it. Whoever wants to be champion, like come and get it. Like you want to be top dog, like let's do this. I want it to be ruthless aggression, and he just keeps saying ruthless aggression as like the motivation. So, you know, and then that kicks off the ruthless aggression era, and then Cena tells his story about OVW and him coming up and how he was the one, which is why I just think it's just funny how it is. But he comes out and challenges with Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle's like, I'll beat anybody. I'm the freaking man. Mm-hmm. So Cena comes out and like Angle's like, why are you out here in my ring? I'm the best. And Cena's like, ruthless aggression, and just slaps freaking Angle really hard. And that was it. So he's just like wearing his little boy shorts or whatever. His American cheese pizza. You know, this is before Thugonomics, so this is like OG Cena. But it was just funny.
No,
so
Anthony's Skyping out.
Uh-oh.
He got, once he said that slap, he went to a slap Skype portal. He slapped himself off the internet.
Oh, snap. All right, hey, I'm back. What's up?
Sorry, man. So it went from the Attitude Era to like the Invasion to Ruthless Aggression, and then what was after Ruthless Aggression era?
The PG era.
I don't know.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
Now created.
Well, but after the PG era was the reality era.
Should probably Wikipedia this.
I think when CM Punk dropped his pipe bomb, it became like the reality era. That like kicked off the reality, and like that ran to like WrestleMania, I don't know, like maybe 30, 31. That's a good question. I don't know.
Hang on. Here we go. I just looked this up. The top 10s. Attitude Era, 97, 2001.
Okay.
Ruthless Aggression, 2002, 2007.
Wow.
Gold, or wait, no. Shoot, I just lost it. Yeah, PG Era, 2008. Oh,
okay.
I just lost it. Oh, crap.
You lose it.
I was randomly clicking on stuff, but just because the timelines didn't make sense. Okay, so New Generation, Attitude, Invasion. Okay, so NWO Alliance Invasion was 2001, 2002. Ruthless Aggression was 02, 08. PG Era was 08, 13. Yep. And then Reality Era was 2014 to 2016.
Okay.
And then New Era, 2016 to present.
New Era?
New Era. I don't think anyone... that's where I disagree for this thing. I think it had me until...
What do you mean New Era? That's the best thing you can come up with?
That's just what it says on Wikipedia, bro.
It's a hat company. They make hats.
You can't argue with Wikipedia. Wikipedia knows all. Wikipedia is everybody's bibliography, dude.
Wikipedia is skewed.
Does not lie.
It has false information time to time.
That's what it says. It just says the new era. The new era in your new era.
Maybe
right now.
Perhaps. Had we not could have perhaps era.
I think we're already in it. We're already in a new era since AEW's around now, man. So I think whenever AEW started going on Wednesday nights, I think that's another new era. When people started jumping ship to AEW, I think that counts as a new era. So I think you're just gonna make the Wednesday night war era.
When did that start? 2019?
2019, yep.
Sure.
Like fall, October, I think. First AEW show, but they've been around since last summer, right? Because they did their first pay-per-view over the summertime, didn't they?
Double or Nothing or All In too. I don't know
whichever one Mox debuted at.
I'm not sure, man. I think it might have been already. Yeah.
The type of monkey.
It's the internet, dude. You gotta believe it.
I'm just surprised that that's what they called it, the new era. Like there hasn't been a. I remember all those other. Well, I didn't watch a lot of them, but I remember the what was the first one you said, like the new generation.
Yeah, that was like Bret Hart, and Shawn Michaels.
That, and I remember like going from like Hulk Hogan in WWF, and I think by like WrestleMania, it's like 10.
WrestleMania 10 was when Bret Hart beat Yokozuna for the title. So I think that's probably like the beginning of the new generation
the transition era. Like Bret Hart like going from tag team champion to intercontinental champion, in which he then gave Davey Boy Smith a push. By the way, Davey Boy Smith cracked for that match, and that match was one that Bret Hart had to carry him through. So if you're looking for a match to watch, you should watch it.
Whoa, wait.
Dude, I remember that.
It was a wormhole, man. Basically, that SummerSlam, I think that match happened at Wimbledon Stadium, I think, in Britain, where obviously Bulldog go over. Supposedly a good match. It went a long time, but Davey Boy Smith, right before the match, smoked a lot of crack. A lot. And so...
Hey, what is your source on this, man?
What was I looking at? Oh,
it's the internet, man.
Internet, Jake. Hold up.
You're leveling major allegation against the British Bulldog right here, man.
And statute of limitations. Anyway, it was either I read it or I saw it on like Cornet, like. It happened, bro.
No, not Jim Cornette.
It happened. No. I swear.
Freaking there, and now it comes out, man. Jim Cornette throwing British Bulldog under the bus, man. It was at SummerSlam 1992. It was an outdoor SummerSlam. The main event was Bret Hart versus Davey Boy Smith for the Intercontinental title. I think the co-main event was Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior teaming up against IRS and Ted DiBiase, IRS and Ted DiBiase. So yeah, it was weird. I think Macho Man was the champion at the time. After WrestleMania 8.
Interesting. So yeah, I'd be curious to watch that match. Now I don't know about crack smoking, but it sounds pretty.
It was a really good match when I was a kid. I remember being cool, but I don't know if it would hold up now.
Look
interesting.
At it. I'm reading it right here. What Culture? That's who told me about it. I'm Simon from What Culture. These are the 10 times that WWE had a scandal.
I'm Simon.
Hold on.
What Culture?
That's a real.
Oh my god.
Look.
That's actually is a decent site. Yeah. Okay. So all right. It's better than
number 10.
Better than Cornette.
British Bulldog quote was messed up on crack end quote at SummerSlam of '92. Bret Hart versus Davey Boy Smith. The very best matches of the early '90s. Makes it all more remarkable. According to the man who Smith beat at the event, Bret Hart. Yeah, Bret Hart said this in the 2007 autobiography. Neidhart and Smith Neidhart and Smith. So Jim Neidhart and Davey Boy Smith smoked crack all night before boarding the plane. Bret claims that Smith was messed up all year with Hart. They said Smith was messed up and forgot the entire plan.
Wow, man, that's scary. I really want to watch this match now if Dave Boy Smith forgets the whole plan.
That came from Bret Hart's mouth on some interview he did in 07.
No.
I was like, where did I read that? It was what? So it could be untrue. I hear that's like, I know that's like one of the best.
Now, it just goes back to the question of who's better in the ring, Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels.
And Shawn Michaels is Mr. Wrestling.
I felt like I thought Shawn Michaels for the longest time, but now that I'm like an adult and I'm looking back at it and like really like thinking of it like through like my lens right now, I think Bret Hart. I think Bret Hart gets them.
There's,
I got to watch some old Bret Hart matches.
Now I have homework.
I think there's a Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels documentary on the WWE Network that's really good.
Really? Because they were like they were rivals, right? I mean, not on the ring, like they were just literally rivals. Like they liked each other.
Yeah, in and out of the ring. Yeah, hated each other.
Interesting.
And they had to work together the most because they're two top stars for WWE.
And they were part of the new generation.
It all comes back.
Yeah, now I got to go watch these Bret Hart matches. So you're basically saying based on overall performance, Bret Hart was the guy over.
I think so, man. I think like in the ring, I mean, I think technically he was better in the ring. He was underrated on the mic. I think overall character, he was better than Shawn Michaels. Man, but Shawn Michaels is so good too, man. So it's like 1A, 1 and 1A, but I think it's like 51-49 for Bret Hart right now. But for the longest time, I always thought Shawn Michaels was better. He beat him in the Iron Man match at WrestleMania. He was in
zip line to
Hey, it's tough because Bret Hart's career ended earlier than it was expected.
I was watching. That was another video. It was like 10 unsafe wrestlers. I think number 4 was Goldberg. Yeah, just showed that. I don't know what a safe kick and an unsafe kick. Don't get that. Don't understand the sweet science. But
I don't think Goldberg pulled the kick back far enough. I think he extended it too much, and Bret Hart, he's supposed to like pull back,
right?
Yeah.
You create the sound by like slapping your hip.
Goldberg sucks, man. Goldberg's trash.
That's why I don't know why he's still trash. Like why? How is he still getting high profile matches? Like I don't know why he was at WrestleMania. He was there, and
oh man.
I was just gonna say, if this pandemic had not happened, he still would have been there. Like he was still gonna be there. You know what I mean? Like in front of all those fans in Tampa Bay, Goldberg was their best option to put to face Roman Reigns.
Oh man, but I was gonna say, Edge disses Goldberg in his documentary when he's getting ready. He's like, if I'm gonna come back, I'm not gonna come back for a 1 minute match. No offense to anyone.
But he's talking about Goldberg.
It's clearly talking about Goldberg. Yeah, he's like, I don't want my fans to come back. Come back.
Oh man, crazy. So let's see, when did that happen? The Goldberg Bret Hart match.
That was on Nitro.
That was on a Monday Nitro. Yeah, it was like 98 or I guess 98 or 99. Yeah, that's the last match of Bret Hart's career until he came back. WrestleMania 26, where he did a match versus Vince McMahon. That was just like horrible.
Okay, so that was obviously. Was he injured before? Was it a concussion? Did he kick him and like mess up his back? I don't know what the.
I think it was concussion and like a neck thing. Like it was like a double whammy. It was like both. I mean, he was up there in age when that happened.
Yeah, just went. I mean, he hadn't been with WCW that long though.
Nah, maybe like a year, maybe a little over a year. Yeah.
And what could have been? I wonder like how long he would have wrestled because him and Undertaker got to be about the same age, right?
I just look. Thank you. I'm glad you asked that. Bret Hart is 62 years old.
He's
all right.
7 years older than the Undertaker. Yeah,
he wouldn't still be wrestling, right?
I mean, he could have been wrestling like 10 years ago, though. He could have been wrestling maybe in 2010. Yeah, at 52, Bret Hart at 52. He kept wrestling.
Yeah, it would have been cool to see him as an adult. Like you said, like now I got more into like when I was watching him growing up, he was like the hero until he became like the heel from Canada. But I wonder what. I feel like I would have liked his character more my older age. I don't know why. He just had arrogance to him. Obviously, I think I would have liked him.
Yeah, I totally missed that with Team Canada versus
great.
like Austin.
Yeah, it was like.
Yeah, man, like that was like some really good matches.
Owen Hart, R.I.P. Owen Hart. Owen Hart was like better. Real good on the mic, also very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now I got some stuff to go at SummerSlam. I just don't believe that story. But
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Crack is whack.
How did we get on this Bret Hart topic?
Yeah, I don't know. We're just talking about the network, and then it kind of different documentaries, and then talked about Bret Hart versus Davey Boy, and he talked about crack, and then we just kind of went down the Bret Hart path.
How did we get down to Bret Hart versus Davey Boy though?
I think y'all were talking about classic matches. Anthony was talking about classic matches.
Oh, interesting.
Going back and watching.
Oh no, we were talking about the different eras. I think.
Oh,
maybe
that's right, different eras. Yep,
okay.
Wow, interesting. What a crazy conversation. Gee whiz.
So,
well, it's an interesting time for pro wrestling on all fronts, and lots of crazy content. Shoot, yeah, I don't know what else I got anything else on my notes?
Let me look at my notes. I had some earlier. I don't really know. So specifically, you've been watching what on the network? You guys said, or Tommy, good matches you could recommend?
I watched. So I watched the Edge 24 documentary, which
right.
you guys gotta watch, man. It's like it's a quick hour and it's super good. Just talks about how. Basically how he was not ready to come back. He was just doing movies and stuff, and then like there was the SummerSlam was in Toronto that year or that past year, and like Beth Phoenix was doing announcing, and he didn't want to even go to it, but his mom died, and then her mom's from Toronto, so he had to go there to like wrap up some like clear out her house and stuff. And when he cleared out his house, like Christian was there, and like they were looking through his like old stuff, and then like Vince McMahon asked him to cut a promo at SummerSlam. He's like, okay, yeah, I'm here already. NXT's the night before because Beth Phoenix calling the matches on NXT. So okay, so they book him for a promo, and then last minute they change it to an interaction with Elias, where he spears Elias, and he's like, okay, well I've been doing like stunt work on movies and stuff, so why can't I do this? So he did that. He felt fine afterwards, and like AEW called him. They're like, hey, we saw you, like, and he's like, I didn't even think about that until AEW called me, and he's like, okay, but like, okay, so he goes to a bunch of doctors, and then, yeah, he's like, but before he wanted to go back to AEW, he wanted to give Vince McMahon the first shot. He's like, hey, they're contacting me, can I come back? And then he got checked out by WWE doctors, and like the rest is history, kind of deal. So it's just that, and yeah, it's a really good documentary. So that kind of sent me on an Edge path. So I watched some old Edge matches that were really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, that's what's cool is like you can go down the rabbit hole.
No, definitely, yeah.
When Flair was talking about the match he had with Undertaker, he was like, they were watching it in the background, and he's talking to Stone Cold, and he's like, yeah, that flip trick I always do?
Yeah.
Stone Cold's like, he's like, watch, I screw it up. And then he screws it up, and then he's like, Taker takes me back. He's such a nice guy. He's like, hey, do it again and watch for the boot. So you see him like basically turn him around, punch him a few times, then throws him back into the corner. And that's where he hits the spin over the turnbuckle and then takes a boot to the face. So it was just funny how like he's like talking about the match. And I was like, I didn't even know there was a botch. Like, okay. And then I went back and watched the match, and there was some other cool stuff that happens.
Which WrestleMania is that? I got stuff to go.
Dude, I don't even remember.
It's one of the. It's obviously one of the ones in the streak. It's Undertaker versus Flair.
Yeah, Rick.
Yeah, I know he retires at WrestleMania 24 with Shawn Michaels, and then so I think I might be like 21 or 22. I'm guessing.
See, but that right there, that little
2002.
That flashback though, that right there, that's the it that we're waiting for. Like, Ric Flair taking himself, taking Stone Cold through a match with the Undertaker. Them giving you this, probably I would assume it was a good match. Well, Anthony, you watched it. Was it a good match? Right. Well, Anthony, you watched it. Was it a good match?
The Undertaker Ric Flair match? Yeah, I thought it was good.
Like, that's what we're waiting for. Rabbit hole. That's the thing that I feel. That right there, that grabbing of your. I feel like this pandemic has kind of made you have to go and watch things like that. And that's what keeps you interested. Wrestling is like waiting for something like that to happen. Something that Ric Flair can go to and remember that he watched this move, but none of us knew that because we were just watching a wrestling. And then obviously when he pointed it out, you might have noticed it now. Mm-hmm. So like everything going on, them trying to push forward, it's like I'm just ready for wrestling to go back to tons of fans screaming and yelling and cool moments like that are happening possibly on TV now that we're missing, like to happen. Pretty cool to hear that story. It really gets you. That got me more adrenaline than I think watching any of the clips. The last, just that little.
Oh man, he went off on his soapbox.
And they disappeared. Dude, lots of Skype holes tonight. Falling in and out of these wormhole. Nope,
times are tough.
Yeah. Well,
times are tough.
Anything on your like, y'all should definitely look out for your boy because slightly they opened up retail stores Friday, restaurant. Other places are being allowed to open business. So we're not opening yet, Pizza Shack, but probably be opening soon. And we are at the Star, which is also the Cowboys practice. Get a lot of traffic. People in Frisco are just kind of oblivious to this whole thing. Like they're already coming out, so I feel like they're real busy. I don't know if you guys have heard about Texas being one of the states to open. Your states are opening up, or you guys still on lockdown? Yeah, that stuff. But your boy and your prayer or your thoughts, whatever. Hello?
Yeah, dude.
Both, man. Yeah, man.
Heck yeah.
I think we're May 15th is in Arizona when we're supposed to. But it's like what you guys are doing, like retail stores and like restaurants. But I don't know if they're gonna do dine-in or not.
They're allowing dine-in, so like a lot of places in that plaza are opening. I guess we're not one of them, but I don't know. That could change tomorrow. I just think it's still going to be weird, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's too. I guess I was trying to figure out if you guys think.
Yeah.
You guys kind of like go out and deal with it because some people are like go out and deal with it. Like if you catch it, then you got to fight it. Like I've heard people say that versus like, should we still be staying inside? Which is stupid. I don't think that's smart. But
oh my god. Woe is me. Got super sick. Almost dead. Yeah, no baby.
I figured that would be.
Let me inconvene you with going out. Truth be told, if things open up, it's not going to be a flood of people. People are going to trickle out. And these are my thoughts. These are my opinions. But it's not going to be like a mass, like, yeah, everything's jam-packed. The behavior of people is different now. And it's going to be that way for a while, right? Like people are naturally going to be socially distant. Wearing masks is probably going to be a regular thing. So even if things open up, like it'll be good that they're open. But again, there's it's a new normal now. We have to adapt to this new world. It's crazy. But also too, there is some danger in it too because we don't have a vaccine and we're like a year away from that. So, as far as the possibility of spreading, like obviously, The whole purpose of doing what we're doing is to, really mitigate and slow the spread. So naturally you're going to take on a risk if you start allowing more people to congregate, because, if there was more tests available, you'd be able to know, and you'd be able to find out like, crap, I shouldn't go out for the next couple of weeks. I'm infected, but there isn't enough testing. So it's really, it's a gamble. It's a total gamble of people's lives.
Same. I don't see. I'm a little bit of what Anthony says, a little bit Darren said, but I expect the worst from people. I think if stuff opens up, there's gonna be dumb, and I expect people to be dumb and just not respect things. But hopefully, I'm wrong. I'd be happy to be wrong on this, and hopefully. But like I think Anthony said, like I don't think people. Hopefully, people are not going to go rush out and do stuff, and like I don't know. But it's just gonna be weird. I don't know. I'm not in position. I'm not smart enough to know what our government officials are thinking, what our health officials are thinking. But so I'm just kind of trusting with them, and I think Arizona's fortunately. I will say this: they've done a good job for seeing how big of a state we've been. We don't have a lot of cases. I think we did a good job of social distancing and a good job at doing the stay-home order. But so yeah, if they say May 15th, then I'll trust people will trickle out and not go crazy with it. So it'll be interesting to see what businesses do and restaurants do and retail stores do.
It is going to be interesting.
Yeah, there you go.
But it just proves my point. I prefer Arizona. They've been handling things amicably. We're just like, open up, 25% capacity. We're gonna see what happens. Goddamn.
Uh-oh.
Oh man, I think the Texas Spectrum internet just pulled out on
in the hottest of my hottest takes ever.
Bro.
It's fine.
Sorry, man.
All right. So final thoughts. Was that it, or was that your final thought?
Please wash your hands and call grandmother.
Ruthless aggression. Slam.